Wow, this is amazing, Hungary. It's good to be with you. You know, this time last year, believe it or not, I was labeled as one of the most dangerous candidates running for office by George Soros. Can you believe that? And in many ways, he was right. I'm dangerous because I'm a threat to their agenda. I'm a threat to their corruption, and I'm a threat to their power. We understand what the globalist agenda is. But in many ways, I'm a danger because I speak the truth and I don't fit their narrative. You see, I'm the son of immigrants, and they expect me to be a part of their woke ideology. But let me tell you, I'm a proud American who served my country in the military overseas and in the Middle East. And I served under both President Trump and Joe Biden. And I got to see firsthand what a difference in leadership looks like, what strong and weak leadership look like. Under President Trump, what we had was that our allies respected us and our enemies feared us. Under Joe Biden, we saw him alienate our allies and embolden our enemies. It's truly shocking, but in many ways, when I got back home from my overseas deployment, I no longer recognized America. And that's what prompted me to run for office. You know, when I got back home to America, it looked like another country. We had BLM flags, we had the LGBTQ agenda, we had the COVID, remember the COVID times, the tyranny of COVID, what the medical community, the trust the scientist community did to us. And unfortunately, we had a wide open border and we saw 20 million illegal immigrants cross our southern border in such a short amount of time under Joe Biden. And that's when I knew I had to run. Over the last 4 years, we were under attack by the same forces that threaten Europe today. If you look at what they did to President Trump, they tried to bankrupt him, they tried to jail him, and they even tried to kill him. But he came back triumphantly on November 5th. And now we are seeing them use the same playbook here in Europe. Look at what they're doing in France, and Germany, and Britain, and Brazil, and Korea even. This is a global war that we are fighting. And now they are targeting you. Now, I hope you understand that. Every single one of you here today is a threat, and you are a target, because they see you as a threat to democracy, as so they call it. They are targeting you because you are awake to what is happening. The global elites no longer have a monopoly on the media. And the reality is that those who claim to defend democracy the most are the biggest threat to democracy. They will go to whatever lengths to destroy it to advance their Marxist agenda. But so long as the people fight back, there is hope. Look what we witnessed in America. In November, if Kamala Harris won, America would not be the same. And we gave hope to the rest of the world that the people still have power and that we can reclaim our country. And that's what President Trump's victory represented. It wasn't just a victory for the United States, it was a victory for freedom-loving people all across the world. But if you look at and under President Trump's quick leadership, we are ushering in a new golden age. You see, in Congress right now, I'm leading the charge on election integrity. I know it better than most how corrupt elections can be in so-called democracies. When the leftists take control, they use every mechanism, every tool to solidify their power to crush their opposition. They hijack elections, they weaponize the rule of law, they flood our cities with crime and illegal immigration. And that is why it's imperative that we have free, fair, and honest elections. And if you see what's happening in Europe, those who are in charge of democracies and elections, they are going to be threatening right now the people. And we have to be cognizant and aware of what's happening. But as you can imagine, when I first entered Congress, I entered Congress just a few months ago. I go there, I'm walking through the halls of Congress, and if you look at the Democrats, the leftists over there, you see not just an American flag. What do you see now? You see the BLM posters. You see the LGBTQ flag all over the halls of Congress. It is truly shocking. And that is why I've led legislation to ban any flag that is not the United States of America's flag and our state flags in the halls of Congress. It's amazing that I even have to do this, but that's what the Marxist ideology is. They're trying to replace every nation. Another thing that happened when I first entered my office in Congress, I had these newspapers on my desk. Of course, we had the Wall Street Journal, the New York Post, we had some other fake news newspapers. But what was shocking to me is we had the China Daily newspaper. I don't know if you've ever heard of the China Daily, but it is owned by the Communist Chinese Party. And I said to my staff, how is the Communist Chinese allowing to have their newspapers distributed to the members of Congress? So quickly, in 2 months, we were able to ban the China Daily newspaper in Congress because we know how the threat of the Communist Chinese is not just to America, but it's a global threat. But there's so much work that needs to be done. We have President Trump's back in Congress. He needs it. And here in Hungary, what an honor it is to have Prime Minister Viktor Orban here representing and leading this great country. In many ways, Hungary is the first and last line of defense for Europe. And that's a tall order for Hungary, isn't it? I mean, this is a nation of 10 million people taking on the mantle for freedom, and in so many ways has inspired movements all over Europe. And I give great credit for that. And why is that? It's because the history is written all over your buildings here. You know, I had a chance to go to the House of Terror Museum, and I got to see firsthand where the Soviets, the Nazis, you look at throughout the history, the Mongolians, the Ottomans. Hungary has been defined by so many different competing interests, and yet it endures with the same traditions, values, and faith that the people are fighting for. Now, over the last 15 years, Viktor Orban has held firm for our shared values of truth, justice, tradition, and culture. And you've protected your borders at a great cost. I just discovered that you're being fined $1 million every single day to simply secure your borders. Isn't that shocking? But let me tell you, that price is worth it. Your safety, your identity, there is no price to pay for that. And in Arizona, where I represent, we border Mexico. We had to see the effects of illegal immigration on our southern border. They poured in fentanyl coming in from the Communist Chinese, killing so many young people. We saw them taking so many jobs. We saw them being a burden on society. And look how fast President Trump was able to secure our southern border. 99% reduction in border crossings within the first few weeks of his presidency. Now, Europe must decide if the 21st century will be defined by Western values or dictated by the communists and Islamists. Hungary has a historic opportunity to reignite the flame of freedom on this continent. Some say Europe is lost. But so long as we have people like you fighting for truth, fighting for sovereignty, and fighting for justice, we have a chance. And if you don't fight back right here, right now, you will never get another opportunity. This war is a global war, and we need brave patriots like you to fight on all fronts to save Western civilization. So let it be said, when the history is written down, that Hungary led Europe's greatest comeback. And we can't do this on our own in America. America first doesn't mean America alone. Our freedoms are worth fighting for. So be honored. You know, some people might despair. They say, you know, there's a lot of bad things happening to us right now. But God placed us here on this earth at this moment for this exact reason. There's a reason why you're all here. Use that to inspire and motivate you every single day. And so long as we remain united in this fight, we will win. And we are with you now and forever. Thank you, CPAC. Thank you, Hungary. And may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.